All right. Welcome.
1, 2, 3, here we go.
I love that. He gives us a countdown. Welcome, everybody, to the inaugural episode of Alpha Agents Podcast. Very excited. My name is Philippe Lundstedt. I am the insurance guru, and I have today with me Tayton Wells. Tayton, go ahead and introduce yourself, buddy.
Yeah, Tayton Wells here, the tech and automation guy. Handle all the back-end stuff, building out a CRM here, and yeah.
Back-end stuff? I love it. The back-end guy. I love it. All right, man. And we've got Dom. Dom, what's up, brother? Introduce yourself, man.
Yeah, Dominic Nessie, life insurance guy, telesales guy, in-person sales guy, pretty much any sort of sales.
I love it. I love it. And last but not least, Justin.
Yeah, my name is Justin Bill. Just another boring insurance sales guy.
There you go.
I love it, man. I love it. So, guys, welcome to Alpha Agents, and I'm really, really excited about this whole concept and this syndication that we kind of put together, and we've gone all over and found the best of the best to bring new strategies, new cutting-edge, sophisticated ways of brokers to make more money, because that's really what it's about. It's not just about, impacting others, but you to make a good income while impacting others. That's huge. And there's so many people that are in our industry that they're just not doing it right, man. They're doing stuff really old school. They're not looking at these new things. And the sad part of it is a lot of the people that are really successful in the business, man, they don't like to share.
They don't like to share.
They don't like to share.
A lot of hush-hush.
That's a lot of hush-hush. It's like, how'd you do that? They're like, oh, well, I'm like, okay.
And
I
just
know
stick
what.
with it.
Yeah, just stick with it.
man.
Just hang in there. Your day will come, right? And there's no specificity there. No one's telling you well, how are you nurturing your clients, and how are you approaching clients, and how are you prospecting, and how are you setting goals, and who are you surrounding yourself with, and what books are you reading, and all that stuff. They're not saying any of that stuff. So here at Alpha Agents, our mission, our vision is to impact and influence 10,000 brokers to make more than $100,000 in the next 5 years. That is our goal, and we are going to work hard to achieve that, and we're going to do it by sharing information with you and bringing on phenomenal guests and people that are absolutely crushing it and fucking killing it in their careers and in their lives, right? Because it all bleeds together. So that's really our concept and what it means to be an alpha agent. But I want to hand it over to some of the other guys and ask what it means to them to be an alpha agent. What does that mean to you? Let's go ahead and start with Dominic, man. What does it mean to you to be an alpha agent? What does that mean to you?
Yeah, I think a good explanation of it would be, if you learned something such as sales or how to sell life insurance, be that person that you needed whenever you were coming up, whenever you were learning, to give everybody else, what could have helped you during that time, rather than kind of holding it back. And I think it just kind of goes, that's just kind of how the universe works, is if you learn something and you give it away to someone else and it helps them, that's just the right thing to do. That's what you should do. And just kind of be that person that you needed whenever you did need them.
I love that, man. I love that. What do you think, Justin?
Yeah, similar sort of thing. Yeah, you always want to give back on everything you've learned, and that's what a good leader does, right? And those are the people that are going to go the farthest, that have shown other people what they've been able to do, and grow that. But also outside of that too, and outside of all the business thing, I think the idea of being an alpha agent is really a wholesome idea of just not just taking care of business, but taking care of things outside of business that's also going to help your business grow. Your physical health, your mental health, your family, relationships. What do those things look like, right? And I think, like all of us here, we just want to strive to be the best version of ourselves, be better than you were yesterday, and try to be better tomorrow than you are today, right? In just all areas of life.
Yeah, I love that. I think that I think that says a lot about, the answers that you guys really gave, and I'm going to get Tayton's answer here in a second, but the answer you gave from both of you really came down to leadership, right? And so many people, they have this idea that, and I've seen this actually circulate a lot, and it's not that it bothers me, but it's funny how people will misconstrue words, right? They think alpha means individual. A lot of people think, well, if I'm an alpha agent, it just means I'm out there by myself. Mm-hmm. Because alpha means you're at an apex, you're at the top of your game, you are literally running the board, right? And if you're an alpha, you're by yourself. Not in nature, at least, right? Because alpha wolves, they don't run by themselves, they run in packs, right? And then in nature, alpha isn't always male. right?
That's the top
I'm-
of the food chain right there.
You look at the top
Yeah,
of the
the
food
top.
chain with the alphas, right? They're not always male. They can be female as well, because most people think it's a male on his own, some guy just lifting weights, douchebag in the corner, you know, drinking out of a gallon of water, right? I apologize to any alpha agents there that do still drink out of gallons of water in the gym with over-the-ear headphones on. Now, I do wear over-the-ear headphones, but I don't drink out of the gallon of water. In fact, I just don't drink one.
He's talking about me right
I am
now.
too. I am too. I got to tell you, I used to make fun of it, and now I do it. I just feel like it just makes me focus more and lift more.
And
It's
if you're
like,
wearing a tank top.
and if you wear a tank top, Razorback tank top with slits on it. I try to do crop top, but we're getting off the topic here, right? So I like that because so many people have this idea of what alpha is, and it's not. Alpha is a state of being, right? It's a state of I'm on top of my game. And that game could be so many things, but when you literally starve all of your other distractions and you just focus on winning at everything. And winning is relative. It's relative to what you've been losing at your whole life, right? If you're a fat piece of shit and you know you are, and you lose 5 pounds, you're fucking winning, man. Just because you don't look like Brad Pitt or you don't look like some supermodel in some magazine that's not a fair depiction of where you should be at, you think you're losing? You're not. Where did you start from and where are you at today, right? So granular growth and counting that, leaders know that. So I love that you guys brought up leadership, because I think that's a big part about it being an alpha, is getting on top of your game and then teaching other people to get it easily. And I think that's what we want to do here.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to take that from
Yeah.
you, Tate, and I wanted you to get an opportunity as well, but I just wanted to jump on that.
It's all that. It's taking a leadership position, showing people how to do things, and taking an extreme ownership. I get no bullshit, no excuses. Wake up, do what you need to do, and
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I love it, man. I mean, it's so important, and the continuous learning that we have, right? Like, we learn from each other, we get together. It's that sharing of ideas, and that's really what we wanted to culminate here and bring together, right? I mean, we've had so many conversations on our own thinking, man, if people only knew about this, or people only knew that. We go to masterminds together, and we're like, holy shit, man, if everybody knew about this, imagine what would happen to our industry. And then it's like, I mean, we could be the ones to tell them, right?
Yeah.
So that's why I'm so excited to have you guys in the room. I mean, this has been something we've been talking about, so I'm really excited of kind of getting after that. So that's been really cool. Some different characteristics I like to bring up is like a never quit attitude, because that's another thing too. I mean, I recently saw a report. I think it was 87% turnover in our industry, right? Now, some people will round that up to make it sound great. I love that. Some people will round it down to make
87% in the first year.
That's in
And
the
then
first year.
The second year is even worse than that.
Yeah. So the second year is even worse than the first year. So it's like, who survives and why do those people survive and why do the other ones not? And I don't think it's because one's smarter than the other. I just think this is just hang in there, right? So it's like a big skill to hang in there, but not just to hang in there. I think it's so important that you understand the power of setting goals, right? Like, because if you're not really setting goals, and I really want to take some time to kind of get your guys' opinion on this, like, when we're setting goals, a lot of people kind of think, oh, I'm just going to do this, and if I achieve it, then I've reached my pinnacle. So what are you guys really doing to set goals? Because you guys are crushing it. So, I mean, what are you guys doing to set goals? How has that really worked for you in your career?
Dude, I can start with this. Really, it's just setting non-negotiables for yourself, especially with like the, in sales. We can't control. There's a lot of things that we can't control in life, and the biggest thing with goal setting is just controlling what you can control.
Exactly.
Which is, your attitude and activity. We talk about those two things all the time, right? We can't control, what leads we're calling, or we can't control what people on the end of the phone are saying, but all we can control is what we say and our attitude and our activity. And it's really what goals come down to. If you have, you want to lose weight or you want to make more money, it's like, all right, cool, let's reverse engineer that. How much money do you want to make? All right, you want to make $100,000 this year. Okay, what does that break down to per month? What does that break down to on a weekly basis? And, what does your structure look like that's going to get you there? How much work is it going to require you on a daily basis? If you just reverse engineer things like that too, just makes your goals a lot easier, right? It's like, oh, I want to lose, 50 pounds and get cut. It's like, all right, that sounds crazy, right? But like, let's focus on, how do we lose 5 pounds, right? Like, okay, cool, break it down. It's like, okay, cool. And you focus on those daily small things, and then over the brand, like, I've never been a huge proponent of somebody that's like, what's my 5-year goal? I have vision in my head of like where I want to be in 5 years.
Sure.
But, like, for me, realistically, it's like, 30 to 90 day goals I love, because it's like things I can implement now, things I can do today that are gonna, you know, show a difference in the next 30 to 90 days. And it gives you something to measure and track, and it's really easy to see, you know, where you're at, you know, where you're falling off and whatnot. And it just makes you accountable when you set goals and you're like, all right, this is what I'm gonna do. And then at the end of the day, and you don't do it, you feel like a piece of shit. At least if you're anybody that has a growth mindset, at least I do. If I say I'm gonna do something and you don't do it, fuck, you feel like a piece of shit, right?
Right. That's
And so-
alpha.
Yeah, that's the whole point of setting goals. So like if you don't, the whole thing of like 75 hard or the 4x48 challenge, right? Like
Yeah.
say what you're gonna do, or what is it? Do what you're gonna say and do it.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I mean, I totally feel.
There's a saying in there. Do what you say.
Yeah, I
or
fucked it up.
Something I don't know it. Yeah, but there's a saying. Right?
Say what you mean what you say is
say
the
what you
thing,
mean,
but just like
something like
do
that,
what you
yeah.
Hold
say.
a promise
Yeah,
with yourself
yeah.
is all it is. You know.
Totally get it. Be accountable, right?
Yeah, be
People talk
accountable.
about it like
Yeah.
the, you know.
Don't
man
write a
is
check
only
your
as-
ass can't cash.
Exactly. A man is
yeah.
only as strong as his word, right? So
There it is. Let's come
hold
out with
it
some
down.
more. Does anybody else have any more?
Little zingers.
That's it. Little
One-liners.
anecdotes here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
One-liners. Yeah. I mean, I love them, man. I love the one-liners. I grew up in the '80s, man. They're full of them. Dom, what do you think, man?
Yeah.
Setting goals, brother.
I think, dude, one big thing that I noticed with setting goals is like, I think most people's problem is actually that they're lying to themselves about where they're actually at and where they want to be at. And then they're
like
always
that.
two different things. And unless you fix that, you know, you could set a goal of making like 20 grand. And then, for instance, in our industry, there's a couple different ways to like measure your income. You could say, hey, I wrote this much life insurance, or I actually got paid, like the policies issued this much life insurance, and they're two different things. And if you're lying to yourself about the progress that you're actually making, it's going to take fucking forever to get there. You probably won't get there because you're not even measuring what's actually going on. You're measuring what you want to go on. So you have to be honest. You know, if you're on a weight loss journey or whatever, and I don't know, you measure your weight at the end of the day or the beginning of the day, there's like 7-8 pounds difference right there for most people. So if you track your progress depending on what is more advantageous to sounding like you made it to your goal
Sure.
versus like where you're actually at, it's going to be really hard to make any progress.
Sure. I mean, you can't choose your point of entry in life, right? It's not like
Yeah.
a river.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, let me skip the rapids
Yeah.
and go down river a little bit and just get in here. Even though many people convince us that there is that possibility in life,
Yeah.
but there's no avoiding hard work.
Yeah.
There's really no avoiding pain. And even in setting goals, I think that most people will fall short because they have failure, right? So I think what both of you say have a lot of value, because setting short-term goals are huge, because those are the granular growth, the stepping stones that give us the reality of making progress, and then being honest and truthful about where you're actually starting from.
Yeah. And that's totally fine, because you're not going to progress if you don't actually measure the real numbers.
Right.
You know,
It's got to be real stuff,
yeah.
right?
So as long as you don't, point being is, I guess, if you don't lie to yourself about where you're actually at, and let's say one day, 30 days in the month you're tracking some goal, 20 days are a win, 10 days are an L. Like you lose that day, you fuck something up. As long as you realize what's going on, then you can fix it. But if you don't acknowledge that there was a problem there, you're not gonna be able to fix it. You're gonna do the same fucking thing next month,
That's
the
it.
month after that, the month after that, and then you just as a person, you're not gonna have that same drive, that same incentive if you know you're lying to yourself along the way.
Right.
That's
Right.
the worst part of it.
And
So if
that's
you
the
can't even
truth.
Hold the word to yourself. How are you going to hold the word to somebody else?
That's it. Like they're crying, saying it's okay. Right? It's okay. Everything's okay.
Yeah, dude, the granular work, like on a day-to-day basis, says it all. Because like Alex Ramosi talks about it all the time, and like if you just set goals 30, 60, 90 days that are attainable, but also going to require your grit and grind and like your best for the next 30, 60, 90 days, whatever it is, you keep that up and you keep rinsing and repeating that cycle. It's like every 30 days you're setting these goals and you're hitting it and you're doing it, and before you know it, you're going to look up 2 years from now and be like, holy shit, I've done so much in the last 2 years.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
every day I was just at it. I was just doing what I was supposed to do. I was doing where it was going to get me. And it's like, holy cow, you probably be even further than if you set some 2-year goal. Because when you set a 2-year goal, it's a lot easier for me anyway, if I'm like, hey, 2 years, I want to do this. It's like, all right, cool. Like, yeah, it's so far away, it's easy to put it off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's like, oh shit, I got to get this done in 30 days. This is the goal. This is the word I have to myself, and it's important to me. So I don't have a lot of time frame in 30 days. 2 years, yeah, I can put that off. I can go have a drink with the boys here and there, right?
It's why New Year's resolutions don't work.
Exactly.
That's why they don't work, right? Oh, it's January 1st. I'll get in shape. January 1st, I'll get in shape on Monday. You ain't
Yeah.
doing shit on Monday,
You
man.
should have done it the day you had that thought.
The moment you had the thought, it's so funny because I love Tony Robbins, and he always says, like, and he's really good with the goal stuff, right? Because he says you just got to make a decision. And once you make the decision, you make a covenant. And you can't break that covenant. There's got to be real consequences. I mean, you got to put up real consequences when you break your own word. Because you can't lie to yourself. And if you're lying to yourself about where you are and you're lying to yourself about why you're quitting on your own goals, it's because usually you don't have a compelling future or a compelling belief. Now, you two guys are studs, man. You guys are alphas. You guys are making a lot of money. You're working at home with AK-47s on the wall and shit, dude. It's crazy. You guys are killing it. So in your mind, your compelling future is set. You want to crush it, right? So you have this compelling future that's really pulling you. Not everybody gets pulled. Most people have to be pushed in life, so they use motivation, which is bullshit, because discipline trumps motivation, right? So what I always like to do is I like to play the game of millionaire math. You know about this. I like to do this thing called millionaire math, right? So how can I get $1 million, right? One person can give me $1 million, or I can get 10 people to give me $100,000, or I get 100 people to give me 10 grand. You getting me?
Yeah.
I get 1,000 people to give me $1,000, or whatever, right? You go down that math and you say, okay, now what business am I in? Because everybody wants to make $1 million. Well, let's keep it simple. Everybody wants to make $100,000 in this business, it seems like, which to me is such a little goal.
Dude, especially nowadays.
I mean, shit, dude, we're doing that in months, right? So it's like with a lot of people, they're like, oh, if I just get to 6 figures, everything's going to be okay. No, it's not. Your life's going to get harder. No way. It's not enough money.
No.
It's not. You're going to get there and you're going to say, okay, now I need another 100.
Yeah.
And then another 100. And then another 100. And then another 100. And it grows from there.
Yeah.
But you're never going to attain those things if you don't have something pulling you. And you got to be able to do that math to see how easy it is. Because when you do that math, that millionaire math or the $100,000 math, one person, 10 people, 100 people, you can really analyze the business that you're in. Because some people are like, well, I'm not making it. And I'm like, well, what are you selling? Well, I'm selling thumbnails. I'm like, what are you doing there? Like, how much does that make you? And how fulfilling is it? It'd be different if it's like, it's so fulfilling work and, I make nothing at it, but it's very fulfilling. I mean, I get that. But then you're probably not complaining about money, right? So I think setting goals, man, it's unbelievably powerful because it literally gets into the next part, what I want to talk about, which is unleashing potential. I mean, how you gonna unleash potential if you don't have any success or any growth, right? So what do you think about unleashing potential, Tayton? What do you think about that?
Unleashing potential, is that... I mean, I believe everyone has a moral obligation to do their best and absolutely just grind every single day. I had more to say on the goal setting.
Did you?
You threw me through a loop, this unleash.
Unleashing the potential thing?
Unleashing the
Well, then tell me
potential.
about your goal setting. This isn't all structured and shit. You can talk about whatever you want.
No,
man.
it really just comes down, unleashing, setting your goals and working towards them every day. It's one of those things.
That's it, and it unlocks potential. I mean, you guys didn't start killing it.
You get better and better, yeah.
That's it.
The more you work for or towards day to day, the better you get, the bigger you get, and then your opportunities start to show up. You know how people like say,
It's funny how that works.
Is it luck? Am I lucky? No, you just
I
worked
think I'm
every
lucky
day.
as shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you work, and activity breeds activity, right?
Yeah.
Opportunity breeds opportunity.
Yeah.
So that's when it's like potential. When people are like, oh, well, I don't know, man. I see a lot of potential, whatever. It's like unleashing your potential is just working.
Yeah,
Dude,
it really
like
is.
it's crazy how things unfold when I say that. Like, I feel like I'm extremely lucky. Like, I work hard and all this stuff, and I truly believe like we create our own luck in a sense, right? Just through that stuff. And most high achieving people are like that. But perfect real world example. Back when before I got into the insurance game, just other sales job, was doing awesome, making great money, very comfortable. And then I decided to move to Florida against my company's permission per se, and I just did it under the radar, and I was like, whatever, I'm gonna get into the insurance game. If all fails, I'm gonna, I got a way out. I knew me and Dom were good friends, and I was like, cool, I'm gonna move to Florida. That happened. Then I get into the insurance game, quit my job, cool, trucking along, and then Mansoor, joins Rudy's mastermind. It's like, cool.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, dude, I'm in Clearwater. I'm like, cool, perfect. Like, and everybody's like, of course I was a top producer on our team, but also I was logistically close, right? And so Mansoor was like, hey, you want to come meet with me to Rudy and talk about this thing? Like, cool. People are like, oh, you're so lucky. It's like, am I? I quit a very high-paying job against like so many people's advice, moved across the country to put myself in this, started being self-employed, and then now I'm lucky. It's like, well, yeah, I created that luck though, right? And I knew
Absolutely.
that moving somewhere like this, and the reason Dom has moved now too, I was like, dude, it's just more opportunity here. Like, there ain't shit back in Missouri. Sure, there's some stuff, but like, dude, we got to be around the players. We got to be around other people like us that are getting after it.
Wow, that
What do
brings
we
up a
call-
good point.
what do we
That's
call that?
proximity.
Ether.
Proximity.
Yeah, ether. Yeah, put it in the ether,
Yeah.
man.